Okay, everyone, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And both feet flat on the floor. Of course, unless your legs are in the crossed position underneath you. Jerry's home. Jerry's been traveling all around all the Buddhist countries in the world. Okay. So just if your feet are down on the floor, just feel the sensation of the contact of the foot with the floor. And the backs of the legs on your chair. Feel the weight of your hands, your palms in your lap, and your sits bones and pelvis in your chair. And align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light that stretch from the base of the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head. So just imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between those vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and just relax and release any tension in your scalp, around your forehead, around your eyes, around your nose, your cheeks, around your mouth, the back of the tongue, the jaw, the temples, and the back of the head. And just put a little bit of length also in the back of the neck and allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Now bring your attention to the breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air through the nostrils as you inhale and exhale. And just notice that for a minute or two, a second or two, actually. And then just be aware of the sensation of the air as it fills your chest cavity, the thoracic region. And that this body of ours was designed to breathe in a 360-degree motion direction. Our lungs, our rib cage. So imagine you're breathing into the back of the body as well. And then you might notice also the breath around the belly. And then be aware of any sound in your environment and maybe potential distractions. So a person inside your home, traffic outside your home, vibration of somebody walking around, opening and closing doors, and then maybe, notifications coming across your screen. Yeah. And then just check in with your mind this evening. So how are you doing this evening? It's always good to think a little bit about impermanence when we're looking into our mind, because if you're feeling a little bit down, you think you might be going to be like that forever. But actually, maybe how your mind is this evening is a little different to how it was this morning. So you know that due to impermanence, it'll change. This too will change. So whatever thoughts are there, try not to follow them into some kind of story and into some kind of fantasy land. So just take a step back from your thoughts. Be objective, try not to judge. Just watch them, a bit like a scientific observer. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers. Maybe there's people in your life you have aversion for, don't like so much. And just remember they're all, again, due to impermanence, these relationships could be interchangeable. Regardless of how you feel about anyone at any particular time, they're still the same as you, still the same as me, and that they all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically psychological. So we create negativity with our mind, and equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us necessarily. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, and the left is holding a bell, and this represents wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed that way, this represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, so the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy. And this is the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very happily, very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Sutokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Saka Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Petita Juda Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Saka Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Petita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra me mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya saka a hum pe vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita Jida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Saka Ah Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as walking into a room and flicking on a switch, the light comes, and the moment it hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all our attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ah hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sata ah hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're gone. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. In this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely. So imagine the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. The nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and blasts all of the delusions. So this happens all at the same time. And also we're reciting the mantra at the same time. So that just eradicates even these very, very subtle imprints of negative energy from our consciousness. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Jida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. This is the fourth and the final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without this determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. Same old habit energy patterns. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So remember, everything exists on the tip of the wish. So we just have to want to do it. So we just decide, I'm going to refrain from harming. And this just kind of, becomes like guardrails for our body, our speech, and our mind. So think of something you'd like to work on between now and over the weekend, maybe, and now and Monday, till we meet again. And just keep it really simple, just some little habit thing that you might have. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into light, white light, and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we'll dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Let's just do chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Proclaimed by Buddhas of the eons past, and to be taught by Buddhas yet to come, and taught not once, but time and time again, by all the Buddhas of the present age, which were respectfully recited in illusion's net, the Tantra most supreme, by multitudes of mighty Vajrapanis, the joyous guardians of secret mantras. Just this I shall uphold with firm resolve until I reach my final liberation, so that I may become, O great protector, the bearer of the Buddha's every secret. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and the long life, happy long lives of all of your own individual teachers. All right. Lots of love. Good night. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay. Thanks, everyone.